from this scene was an amusing in-joke. Number 6 tells Janet that his from this scene was an amusing in-joke. Number 6 tells Janet that his name is Robert Edward Turner, or R.E. Turner for short. Cast in the role of Janet Portland was Zena Walker, who was fully expecting to play these scenes opposite Patrick Mcgoohan. She recalls her delayed discovery of the reality of this central fact.
I remember my agent ringing me up, and obviously I wasn't familiar with the scripts, the series. So I relied on reading the script, which didn't help very much being the prisoner. And it was a lovely part. And as you say, I fully expected to be playing as Patrick. I think it was probably not even until the wardrobe calls, when I was going to have my clothes fitted, that I learned I was not in fact going to be working with Patrick. A fact which I should have ascertained, I imagine, if I had read the script more carefully. However, I learned that it was Nigel Stock, who was an old friend and an absolute darling, so I wasn't too put out. I remember that party scene and doing all that dancing. Because there were so many extras, it was quite a tricky one to shoot. And I think they had some aerial shots, didn't they? Crane shots. I remember it being quite a palaver doing that scene. And I was done up to the nines. They did in those days. We go more for realism today, but it was the eyelashes and the fingernails and the sitting in makeup, getting glammed up, which I've never enjoyed particularly. But I think they did a good job.
The party scene Zena remembers went through 2 complete rewrites before it reached the screen. These revisions changed surprisingly little of the scene's plot content, but concentrated instead on all the dialogue exchanges between Janet Portland and her party guests. Vincent Tilsley's initial draft opened the scene with Janet talking to 2 young men. In her presence they wish her a happy birthday, but once she leaves them, they pity her. This is overheard by number 6, who, knowing the men, takes advantage of his unfamiliar appearance and suitably embarrasses them. It is scenes such as this that make sense of Vincent Tilsley's original title for the script, Face Unknown. This dialogue exchange, minus number 6's involvement, was carried forward through both rewrites, only to be removed during editing. Another scene added for the first rewrite fell to a similar fate. After Janet dances with number 6, she was originally cornered by an elderly friend referred to as Old Gentleman Guest. The part was played by Henry Longhurst, as this rare photograph shows. With the final draft, his character was given a name, Charlie, but had his lines cut by almost half. Eventually, though, the scene also ended up on the cutting room floor. Apart from the removal of all further sequences in The Darkened Room, the subsequent pages remained largely unchanged during the rewriting, that is, until number 6 has possession of the Saltzman slides. Having obtained them from the camera shop, the original script had him selecting frames apparently at random to decipher their hidden message. The revision for this scene introduced a more methodical approach, basing the selection of frames on letters from Professor Saltzman's name. A note in the script points out that the professor's name has now been changed from Saltzman to Seltzman, solely to avoid a second A. Once number 6 has reached Kandersfeld, by way of stock material as noted in the script, his dialogue exchange with the local waiter remained totally unaltered right through to shooting. But, as with many such scenes with supporting players, it was cut to less than half for broadcast.